Hello guys, welcome to my channel. The less is more. So today we will discuss an editorial from Business Standard. Okay, so that we can have various dimensions from various authors, right? So that we cannot we are not tend to bias with any kind of philosophy or ideologies, right? We can have a balanced approach in our views, right? And that is essential, like neutrality, right? So let's start. The title of the editorial is Regulating AI, that is artificial intelligence. Europe is moving to set standards. So what Europe is doing, it is moving to set standards for regulating AI. A committee of the European Parliament has cleared a draft of the artificial intelligence law to be discussed and put to the vote at a forthcoming session. The final details may change before it is passed. The proposed act will not only set standards for how AI is deployed within the European Union but also apply to an entity that serves EU residents in the same way as the EU's General Data Protection Regulation. So this law will apply to entity that serves EU residents in the same way EU's General Data Protection Regulation, that is Data Protection Regulation Act, which is applies on the entity that serves EU resident, right, for protecting data of the citizens, right? So how AI will be deployed in EU and how the entity that is serving EU resident, how these laws will be applicable on those entities, right? Like the GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, as legislation serving the world's largest economic bloc, the AI Act would set benchmarks for legislation elsewhere. Quite a few classes of AI tools that breach privacy or enable discrimination have been banned. In general, AI is to be classified in accordance with risk from minimal to limited, high and unacceptable. While many high-risk tools will not be banned, entities using these must be transparent and subject to stringent oversight and auditing. So, with high-risk tools, some entities will not be banned, but those entities should be transparent and subject to stringent oversight and auditing. Right. The committee said it aimed to ensure AI systems were overseen by people and were safe, transparent, traceable and non-discriminatory and environment friendly. So committee aimed that the AI system should be overseen by people, it should be safe, transparent, traceable, non-discriminatory and environment friendly. It wants a uniform technology neutral definition for AI such that it can be applied to AI systems of the future. The banned systems include real-time remote biometric identification, used in public spaces, such as facial recognition systems used by the London police to identify monarchist activists during the recent coronation of King Charles III. So, banned system include what? Real-time remote biometric identification used to identify anti-monarchist activists during this recent coronation of King Charles III. The act also bans what? A remote biometric ID system for post real-time use. For example, to identify members of a crowd from CCTV footage, with the exception of use by law enforcement agencies in case of serious crimes and only after judicial authorization. The other bans include biometric categorization systems using sensitive markers like gender, race, ethnicity, citizenship status, religion, and political orientation, as these can enable what? Discrimination. So, in this paragraph, how AI system should be, what does it ensure, and what are the banned AI systems, right? So, real-time remote biometric identification, then remote biometric ID system post real-time use, right? And biometric categorization that use system using what? Sensitive markers like gender, race, ethnicity, citizenship status, religion, and political orientation, as these can enable what? Discrimination. Similarly, predictive policing systems based on profiling, location, or past criminal behavior are also banned. Predictive policing systems based on profiling, location, or past criminal behavior are also banned. The Act also bans indiscriminate scraping of biometric data from social media or CCTV footage. Indiscriminate scraping of biometric data from social media or CCTV footage to create databases, as this violates what? The right to privacy. It also bans so-called emotion recognition system used in law enforcement, border management, workplaces, and educational institutions to identify people whose facial expression or body language indicates discomfort. Okay, guys. So, in this paragraph, two paragraphs, we are seeing that what are the AI based tools that that would be banned in use legislation for regulating AI. Emotional recognition system to identify people whose facial expression or body language indicates discomfort. The committee defines high risk as AI. What is high risk AI? That could cause potential harm to people's health, safety, fundamental rights, or the environment. AI that could cause potential harm to people's health, safety, fundamental rights, or the environment, that is defined as high risk. Okay. It classifies AI system used to influence voters in political campaigns and recommendation system used by social media platforms with over 45 million users as high risk. So, classify AI system that used for influencing voters in political campaign and recommendation system used by social media platforms with over 45 million users as high risk. These may continue to be used, but oversight will be tighter and the deployment transparent. These may continue to be used, but oversight will be tighter and the deployment transparent. Generative models like generative pre-trained transformer or GPT would also have to comply with strong transparency requirements, including the disclosure that a piece of content was generated by AI, designing models to prevent generation of illegal content, and publishing summaries of copyrighted data used for training or citations. So it would have to comply with strong transparency requirements, including the disclosure that a piece of content was generated by AI. Designing models to prevent generation of illegal content, and publishing summaries of copyrighted data used for training or citations. There will be exemption made for research activities provided under open source license, and the act allows regulatory sandboxes or controlled environment established by public authorities to test any AI before deployment. The act also proposed legislation to make it easier for citizens to file complaints and ask for explanation of decision based on AI systems that impact them. The EU AI office and relevant national authorities will have to boost their capacity considerably to ensure these rules are implemented. But setting such bounds can be seen as a beginning, given that the technology has far outstripped the law. Okay, so guys, this editorial was all about the draft of AI, that will be draft legislation of regulating AI, that has been made by the EU Parliament, and as the EU is moving to establish or bring the legislation in the forthcoming session. Okay, so in this editorial, author writes that what are the systems, AI systems that will be banned, and what would be the exemptions, like for public authorities and entities, and on whom these regulation will be applied, like entities, some high risk entities also, and also defined high risk AI systems, and it allows for some entities, but those entities should be transparent and subject to tight oversight and stringent audits, tight oversight. Okay, and also like to ban emotion recognition, predictive policing, right? So this was what in today's editorial. It was good, like we can have some new words, right? What is predictive policing, emotion recognition, then real time remote biometric identification, post real time use, right? How much new words we have find, let's see, right? GDPR. Okay, then these high risk tools will not be banned, and using these must be transparent and subject to stringent oversight. And this system overseen by people, safe, transparent, traceable. How should be non-discriminatory and environment friendly. Wants uniform technology neural definition for AI, technology neutral. Okay, then ban system. What includes ban system? Real time biometric identification, right? Facial recognition. And then what other ban? Remote biometric ID system for post real time, right? To identify members from crowd or CCTV footage, and exception for whom? Law enforcement agencies in case of serious crime, but after judicial authorization. Okay, the other ban include what? Biometric categorization systems, which include what? Markers, like categorization system, biometric, like on the from biometric data, this system categorize people on the basis of gender, race, ethnicity, citizenship status, religion, and political orientation, because this can enable what? Discrimination. Then predictive policing system based on profiling, location, or past criminal behavior are also banned. The act also bans indiscriminate scraping of biometric data from social media or CCTV footage to create databases, right? Indiscriminate scraping of biometric data from social media. Then also bans what? So-called emotion recognition system used in law enforcement, border management, workplace, educational institution to identify what? People whose facial expression or body language indicates discomfort. Then committee defines high risk. What is high risk? That is harm to people's health, safety, fundamental rights, and environment. It classifies what? Some AI systems that use to influence voters in political orientation, campaign recommendation system. So it also classifies some AI system that this would influence voters. Then recommendation system used by social media platforms. These may continue to be used, but oversight will be. These high risk systems would continue to be used. It is not blanket ban, but oversight will be tighter. Okay, and deployment transparent. Then generative models like generative pre-trained transformer GPT would also have to comply with strong transparency requirement, including disclosure that a piece of content was generated by AI. So right now we are seeing some reels and memes that the image is created by AI, right? So generative models, designing models to prevent generation of illegal content and publishing summaries of copyrighted data. So there is a generative models in AI. They need to comply with strong transparency. This is one of generative models. There will be exemption made for research activities provided under open source. And what are the exemptions? We have seen in these two paragraphs what the act bans for AI. Now some exemption for research activities. Regulatory sandboxes, controlled environment established by whom? Public authorities, to test any AI before deployment. Then the act also propose what? Legislation to make easier to citizen to file complaint. So they can file complaint, some exemptions, right, and can ask for explanation of decision based on AI system. The EU AI office and relevant national authorities will have to boost their this is way forward capacity considerably to ensure what? These rules are implemented. But setting such bounds can be seen as a beginning. But these such bounds are what? Beginning, as the technology has far outstripped the law. So thank you guys. This was for today. I hope you would be enjoying, and please do comment and give some feedback if you need any changes, right, in this explanation or any kind of other content that you might be needed. Okay, so bye bye, signing off for the day. Thank you.